Welcome to Who's Laughing Now, brought to you exclusively by Hoosier TV.
My start started when I was 20 years old, and I emceed a junior miss pageant, and I loved it. And I worked at a radio station selling advertising, just wanting so badly to be on the air because I knew I had the talent, but they told me that my job was to sell and I had no chance to get on the air. So they found out I was looking for another job, so I was fired. My wife was pregnant, so that's how most guys become insurance agents. Nobody ever goes to college to be an insurance agent. If you go to the insurance agency training, 90% of the guys have knocked up wives. It's true. Have you ever met anybody in high school that said, I want to be an insurance agent? Never. Doesn't happen. Oh, the early years are right now. I don't think you ever stop learning. I think you always ought to have that hunger that these are the early years. And no matter how polished you get on stage, learn from what you do wrong, learn from other people. I think that as soon as you can cut out envy and jealousy for talented entertainers and watch how they do their craft, the better off you are at honing in on what you need to do. And the earlier years, it's so cutthroat on the open mic scene, and I thought that was really competitive. And then, my God, what happens when you get up to people that have talent? It's horrible. I look at comedians, when people come up and they say, who's your favorite comedian? I surprise them and list people that they don't know. Because a lot of times I'll say, it's just like preachers. The best preachers are the ones in those little churches outside of so-and-so Alabama that has a crowd of 40. And the best comics you're going to see are at these clubs that are up and coming that have not yet been discovered, and they're not like these ministers that preach to stadiums. And, you know, there's guys out here on the road that you've never heard of that are killing. And you have to be in a comedy club to get it. My style has developed over time. It was like most people that go up when they're young and in front of a crowd, or young or new. I can never say young in my career, but I go up and it's like me, like me, like me. And there's that balance of not caring and caring enough to make the people laugh. So when you develop that kind of attitude, you can start honing in on your voice. And my voice is that guy that doesn't get it. I started in this business when I was almost 50 years old, and I knew that I wasn't going to get any younger, so I had to develop a character that in these rooms full of young kids, I have to say, I don't get you, and here's why. So, and as predicted, the hair went, and I'm well on my way to looking as old as anybody in the business. So you see my headshot in 20 years, it's going to look just like this. So. I am my character. I am the disheveled old guy that doesn't get my kids. I don't get everything else that's going on, but I'm trying my best to adapt to it and stumbling along the way. Hi, I'm Sid Davis, and you're watching Who's Laughing Now?
Thank you. I was so excited to be here today, I had to go take a walk and clear my mind. In Barnes & Noble, this lady comes up to me and says, excuse me, could you reach on the top shelf and get me a copy of that book, Random Acts of Kindness? I said, no. And she hit me in the groin with a copy of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. I don't sweat small stuff, but I sweat that $1,200 Verizon bill I got last month because my daughter, who I love very much, sent a bunch of text messages to a kid who lives next door. We have the unlimited plan. Domestic. This bastard's a foreign exchange student. His phone is registered to La France Mobile. Every message goes across the Atlantic Ocean and back, 25 feet away. For $3.70 each. To say important communication like, what up? And I marched in the Verizon store and I said, take this bill, take these phones, take your fees, and stick them. And I'll be damned if I didn't walk out with a new 2-year contract. And a droid. A smartphone. It has speak and spell texting. Tried one to my wife. I'm experimenting with a new age droid. The text she got said, I'm experimenting with a teenage boy. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Stop laughing. I'm in deep. I said, you're going to erase that? She said, no, if we get divorced, this is Exhibit A. Don't get the wrong impression of my wife. She's a sweet lady. I married her young. I loved her, but I hated my job. Went to a meeting one day. My boss said the cliched I hate. Said there's no I in team. And I mumbled, there's an I in idiot. And I found out there's an I in fired. Got a speeding ticket on the way home from getting fired. Woo-hoo. Went to tell my wife about it. She cut me off. I bounced that check. Oh, I got a speeding ticket. My car broke down. It was like we're playing It's Hit the Fan Poker. I'm unemployed. I'm pregnant. I fold. My wife never knew how much money we didn't have. She was after our second kid. She, I want our family to have as many kids as we can afford. I'm like, mathematically, we have to get rid of one. We had no health insurance when the first one was born. Go to the hospital. She goes to the delivery room. I face the lady at the front desk with the paperwork. Normally, we get paid through an insurance agency. I'm probably going to pay you through a collection agency. We go in that delivery room, my wife is in agony, screaming, the doctor jokes, well, this is a big baby, we might have to pull it out with a tow truck. And I said, good, I have AAA, it's covered. And I stood there with my newborn son in my arms, a tear came down my cheek. The nurse said, God's telling you you're a father. I said, better God than Maury Povich. I'm not ashamed. I cried the day my son was born, and his mom cried the day he left home, and we both cried the day he moved back in. And isn't it your friends with no kids that give you the advice, well, you just need to cut the cords like we have. It's like cutting a lizard's tail. The damn thing comes back. I don't want to rag on my son. He's a very smart kid on paper. A gifted student. Night in high school, he took my car out on a ride with 3 of his damn gifted buddies. And you parents know nothing good comes from a phone call that starts out, hey, Dad, first off, thank God everybody's okay. It's the middle of the night. I can't see what time it is, so I want to know what time it is. I rub my wife's thigh. She says, oh, please, it's 2:30 in the morning. Thank you. I got off the subject, I'm sorry. My son's in trouble. This is a smart kid. He graduated Sigma caramel latte, whatever. Could never explain to me how he put my Chevy Cavalier in a lake. I go down there in the middle of the night, flashing blue lights, tow truck. Cop didn't want to let me back in. There's nothing to see here, sir, but get a load of this. Some dumbass kid put a car in that lake. I said, listen. I happen to be that dumbass kid's attorney. I got there just in time to see the bumper emerge from the water with the sticker, my son's a gifted student. They figured out I was his dad when I peeled that damn thing off. Tow truck driver said, sure, you're handling this situation all wrong. Well, what the hell would you do? Well, it's a Chevy Cavalier, I'd have left it in the lake. Hey! I know, I'm whining. I'm not the only parent that has a problem with their teenagers. A friend of mine came up to me flabbergasted, said, oh my God, my daughter's on girlsgonewild.com. I said, I know. See, I didn't think that response through. That's getting old. Part of getting old is I can't sleep in my bed. I cannot stay awake driving a car. But I rented this fancy Cadillac. It has this fancy device in it that actually wakes you up if you nod off at the wheel. It's called an airbag. That's an abrupt end to a nap. Boom! Scared. The bag went down. I realized everyone in Cracker Barrel was scared too. It's a rental car. You got to call that in. Hello, Hertz Service Center? Yeah, first off, thank God everybody's okay. I was ashamed I totaled a $63,000 Cadillac. Hertz was upset I'd upgraded from a Ford Focus for $12. Well, at the rental car counter, she goes, Mr. Davis, you have a Focus, but for $12 you could be driving a Cadillac. And I said, hey, I have ADD. I can't drive a car called a Focus. I'm getting old when I focus. The only thing I pay attention to these Viagra commercials now. That guy mumbling warnings at the end men don't really care about. We've lost careers, houses, spent years in prison for sex. You think we're scared of a little heart attack, stroke, and diarrhea? The warning they don't give you is the most important warning. These pills cost $10 to $15 each. That guy at the end of the commercial mumbles, consult your doctor to see if you're ready for sex. If I'm laying out that kind of money, I'm going to consult my wife to see if she's ready for sex. Too damn much money to spend for rejection that lasts 4 hours. Oh, and the commercial's all romantic when the time is right. Ooh, he's holding your hand by a waterfall. Not in my house. Here's what it looks like. Me holding a pill and a glass of water. Is this going to happen? I need a green light before I take this blue pill. This pill costs $12. I could be driving a Cadillac. My name's Sid Davis. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for watching Who's Laughing Now, brought to you exclusively by Hoosier TV.